I'm going to teach you how to get a man to love, commit, and chase you. So if you really want a guy to chase, pursue, love you, and commit to you, I'm going to share some feminine energy tips and techniques on how to do this specifically for each topic. So first off, I want to say hi to anyone joining my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name's Adrienne Everheart. I'm a feminine energy dating and relationship coach, and I teach women how to access their natural and authentic feminine energy. Now, what this does is it embraces your dark side and your light side in feminine energy, and I get you to actually connect with what is holy and most upmost, your best representation of yourself. So this is really about connecting to an authentic feminine energy voice that is natural and it's within you. We just have to access that. So I do offer a lot of scripts and techniques about what to do and what to say, but these are often coming from my own feminine energy perspective. So if one tip doesn't necessarily resonate with you, I want you to really consider going deeper into your body and exploring more about what you feel and figuring out the difference between that masculine energy pursuit, trying to make something happen, pursuing the man, doing things specifically to manipulate an outcome is very, very different than accessing your feminine energy and finding this most purest form that actually gives you the best outcome. So I want you to keep that in mind, that you can get a man to pursue you, you can get a man to commit, you can get a man to love you. You can do all of these things because they're all part of your feminine energy practice. I want you to understand that every man, even your husband, if he's been your husband for 20 years, he's in front of you as some form of practice in this life. You're experiencing something, you're learning and you're growing. So no matter what you're going through at this moment, I want you to, with confidence, know that you're here on a learning experience and a spiritual journey. But I'm going to give you some tips about how to get that man to chase, love, and commit to you. And you'll have some amazing results with these. Now, again, if you're new to my channel, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button. I love watching and finding out who I have as new subscribers and hearing from you in the comments. So please do take a moment and do that. I hope everybody can hear me and see me okay. I love hearing from you in the comments, but let's get going with tip number one, which is how to get a man to chase you. So a lot of the work I do in feminine energy, I do incorporate some law of attraction because I want you to focus on how it felt to be chased and pursued. So how did it feel to be chased and pursued once upon a time? I want you to get familiar with that feeling. Now, this is why I teach something called quantum dating. Quantum dating teaches you how to date 5 men, how to let men in and let men out, and repeat this process so that you have 5 men pursuing you in one way or another. Now, a lot of women are like, I can't even find one man to date. And I have a program called Fem Tools for Dating. It's called Feminine Energy Mindset Method, Fem Tools for Dating. And that program is on my website, Everheart Coaching. I teach you how to quantum date. I teach you why it's important. So let's talk about that for a second. Quantum dating means there's always going to be the number one guy that feels so good to you. Like he's the one you want to be with. But then there are these other guys that are giving you attention, and you may, to quote someone recently, she said, at my core, I know this man is not right for me. This one of her quantum 5. So I want you to question that at your core feeling, knowing someone isn't right for you. I want you to question that and play with that and be curious about it, because that man is going to pursue you like crazy. He's going to be calling you. He's going to be asking you out. He's going to be ringing you up, wanting to spend time with you. And I want you to identify strongly with that feeling and remember it and capture it. Instead of saying, I know that this man's not right for me. He keeps calling me, he keeps asking me out. How am I going to shake him loose? Look, my husband is someone I tried to shake loose, but he kept coming around, and then finally I fell for him. It happened, it evolved. So it's very different than how things happen in your 20s, where you meet someone and you have this amazing chemistry that's really used for procreation. And now it's really about finding someone to spend the rest of your life with who treats you really, really wonderfully and treats you like a beautiful human being, and the two of you can have a wonderful life. So I want you to identify with what it feels like to be chased and pursued. If you've been a long time in a relationship, I want you to think back to a time when your husband or your partner did chase or pursue you and how it felt to have them message you on the phone and see that message pop up, or you come home and they can't wait to hug and kiss you. I want you to really focus on what those feelings feel like, because wallowing does not attract a man to you. Feeling down, feeling confused, not feeling attractive, not feeling like anybody really wants me, that is not an attractive energy. And you are an energetic being. And men are incredibly sensitive to energy. So I want you to get in touch with what that good feeling energy feels like for you to be chased. And once you allow one man to chase you, another man will start chasing you, and another man, because they know that they can send you that arrow. They can let you know that they're into you and want to chase you and pursue you. And you kind of get this safety vibe around you. You get a safety energy around you that men look at you and they go, well, that's a woman that I can connect with. She's not going to shoot me down and crush my soul because I'm pursuing her, you see. So there are men who pursue women, and they're just like shooting arrows to every girl they see because they have to cast their net really, really wide. And then there are some men that get a lot of arrows from women, and they don't have to send as many arrows to women. They don't have to do this so much. And they get very selective about who they send an arrow to. You know, they walk into the place and all eyes are on them, and you're wanting them to look at you and see you. So the way that you get that high value man, or that man that doesn't have to send out a lot of arrows, the way you get his attention is by having this energy emanating from you that if you send me an arrow, I will graciously receive it. And that's what it feels like to be chased and pursued by a man, is that I can accept it. I don't have to be like, oh my God, he's chasing me, I gotta get him off my back. You know how to manage it. You're a woman in control. You don't freak out when a guy starts pursuing you. You know how to manage and control yourself and the tempo of the relationship and the text communication. You see, this is a very, very valuable tool for you to have. And it puts this energy around you that you can pursue me. We can have this pursuit happening, and I can be playful. More than anything, what a man wants is that playfulness and a feminine energy woman. So with my husband, I have a very playful relationship with him where we do play cat and mouse quite a bit. And whether I'm using, double entendre, he likes a lot of wordplay, different words, different things I'm saying. We create kind of like this energy between us. And so you're going to develop your style. You're going to develop your, how you speak to a man and that energy. But to do that, you have to practice with lots of men. We don't want to be practicing on the number one guy that walks into your life and you're like, oh my God, this guy could be my husband. We want you to practice on all the men that are surrounding you. Now, I want to tell you, whether you have to go to a memory or you have to quantum date, I want you to understand, men don't mind practicing with a beautiful woman. They don't mind it. You can practice on any guy that you may know or be in contact with. I don't want you to think like, oh, I can't practice with these guys. I'm going to lead them on. I'm going to crush them. No, you're not. I'm not talking about having a relationship with them for a year. Excuse me. It's more about You want to be able to practice with them and go on, dates for, a couple of weeks and really get to know them and practice, because remember, he's getting practice too. He's upping his vibe. He's hanging out with this beautiful woman and taking her out on coffees and having dates, and there's no pressure, and he's getting practice. So again, that energy that you are creating around you is just expanding. Instead of focusing on this guy and going, I should just be on a date with the man I know I'm going to be in a perfect relationship with. You don't have to put that pressure on yourself or that pressure on the man you're with, okay? So that is how you get a man to chase you. It is in your energy. I am a happily married woman, and I have men chasing me all the time out in public, pursuing me, sending me arrows, being incredibly kind to me, looking my way. They have absolutely no reason to be doing this, except it's in my energy. They feel it in my vibe. I walk in a room and they turn and look at me. They quickly realize she's, with a guy, or she's too old for me, or whatever it may be. But my energy pulls them to me, you see. So I want you to have that energy, no matter your age, your height, your weight, how you think you look, or anything like that. You can have this beautiful energy around you. So let's move to the next one, how to get a man to love you. My biggest advice on how to get a man to love you is don't do drama. Don't do drama. You want a man to really, really love you and feel like you are the only woman who gets him, that he cannot live without you. Create a soft, inviting place for a man to come and be with you, and don't do drama. Okay, so let's talk about drama. The biggest way I encounter drama with you, my beautiful diamond girls, is preferences. I hear about it all the time. I hear about your preferences, and y'all treat them like they are boundaries. I have heard things such as this. I told a man what movies I like, and then when I went on a date with him, he didn't remember. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna next on him. He didn't remember what I talked about. Here's another one. He did not open a door for me, and I want a masculine energy man who opens a door for me. I'm gonna pass. All right, you want me to keep going? He called me hun. He called me babe. He called me sweetie. He called me a pet name, and I'm gonna pass. These are preferences, ladies. These are not boundaries. So I've heard things like, I just met this man and he did something that totally turned me off. He said this, he mentioned that, it totally turned me off. Those are preferences. So here's how you tell a preference from a boundary, and why preferences are sabotaging your dating world and your relationship life with a guy. Because preferences are things that irritate you. They're things that irritate you, that you wish they were different, okay? I have a preference about this. It is not a boundary. I have let you all know that my husband is in the music industry. And my husband has hair right now that is longer than mine. And his hair doesn't always look like he has brushed it. And that's just his look. And you know what? I fell in love with him, and his hair is sometimes all over the place. I would prefer he have his hair a certain way. It is not a boundary. Like, I cannot be with a man who has long hair. Like, it's not a boundary. This man loves me, treats me well, and treats me like the goddess I am. That's what I want you to have. I don't want you to get these preferences confused with boundaries. A boundary is for your mental and physical and spiritual well-being. For example, a boundary I talk about a lot is, for example, a sexual boundary. I don't have regular sex with someone I'm only dating. I'm not in a committed relationship with. Okay, that's a boundary. I'm not going to come over to your house at 1 a.m. and have crazy sex with you, and I'm not even in a committed relationship with you. That is a boundary. That is for my physical well-being, my emotional well-being. I can't go around sleeping with just anybody, because I'll catch feelings and I will love you. I need to be in a relationship. You see how that works? Another boundary, I will not be getting in the car with you if you've had more than 2 alcoholic drinks. That's a boundary. That's for my physical well-being. If someone is yelling at you, and even if you're at work and someone's, like your boss, is yelling or taking away your power, you have the right to have a boundary and say, hey, voices are getting loud. Yelling feels very scary to me. I'm going to be walking away, taking a 5-minute break, and I'll come back. You see, that's a boundary. I'm protecting myself physically. So whether it's your husband or you're at work or anything, you have a right to your boundaries. You have to know your boundaries and you need to know how to speak them. Can't stress that enough. I talk about that a good bit in my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. So if he calls you pet names, if he isn't opening doors for you, if he isn't pursuing you the way you want him to pursue you, I hear that one all the time. He's not pursuing me. He's not making the moves on me. He's not asking me for sex. He's not chasing me down. Look, someone's gotten to your head that has made you believe you're queen of the world and a man is just supposed to be like on you all the time. And that is not reality. Okay? It's just not reality. Feminine energy is about letting a man be you have to be an invitation so that man wants to come spend time with you. That is when you have a man's heart. Is that when you're this beautiful, wonderful goddess that he can be with and spend time with, and there's no drama, there's like no tightrope for him to walk. He can get around you and he can go call you sugar and sweetie and maybe mess up, and then later when you're in a relationship with him, you can say, oh, you know what? Those pet names, they're very cute, but I feel really weird hearing my name, not my name, something else. You see, because now we're in a relationship. Now we're regularly dating. So I'm going to have that boundary with you, right? Okay, so there's a time and a place for that conversation, but you have to unfold, let it unfold. That's what feminine energy is about. I'm going to let this unfold and I'm going to see what this man does. And oh, I'm going to notice I'm having a trigger. I'm going to notice like, oh, he just called me hun. Why am I so livid right now? You've got an emotional trigger. Something's happening to you. Now, I don't even like the word trigger because trigger makes it sound like someone else is responsible for your emotions. You've just been triggered by them, okay? And I want you to understand that no one has any emotional control over you. This is about something that you're deciding to, you're having some sort of physical reaction to. And again, that's what feminine energy is about. When you don't feel good, you ask yourself like, hey, what am I really feeling? Not what am I thinking? What did he do wrong? What did he say? How can I blame someone for my trigger? It's really about like, what am I feeling inside? So in your body, you have the answer to everything. You know how to solve problems. You know how to call forth a wonderful, loving relationship. You know how to have a beautiful connection with a man and yourself and this planet you're on. You know all of this. All of this is inside of you. We just have to get in touch with what that is. And that's what feminine energy is about. I get you in touch with your body and what you're feeling in your body. So another example of a boundary, not a preference, and then I'm moving on to how to get a man to commit, my favorite. For example, if a man isn't dating you regularly, I hear about this one all the time. Well, we dated twice and then we've been talking for about a month, or he keeps texting me, he keeps messaging me, or he's on a work trip and then I'm on vacation and we haven't been able to see each other. Okay, look, stay in touch all you want to, but having regular communication with someone you're not in a relationship with, you're not getting to see on a regular basis, here's a boundary. Let me get my wording right. If I don't date a man, at least 2 to 3 times a week, I don't really feel like I'm in a dating relationship. Okay? Or in order for me to date a guy and text him and communicate and have all these phone calls you want to have with me, I need to be in a regular dating relationship, and that means dating a guy at least once a week. Dating a guy at least twice a week, dating a guy at least 7 times a week. That's up to you, sweetheart. You got to figure out how often you want to date a guy. But please do not come to me and tell me like we've known each other for 6 months. We've gone on 2 dates. Something's wrong here. You're not having a boundary with that communication. You see, you continue to text him. He's got a girlfriend in his pocket. How wonderful. You see, he's not going to come forward and commit to you. So you got to get your boundary right with that. Again, I have a very low cost program on my website, Fem Tools for Dating. It's at everheartcoaching.com. Go get that program. Learn how to date from your feminine energy. It's going to save you so much time and wondering what to do and say and things like this. Go check it out. So the next one, how to get a man to commit. This is my favorite. I feel like I am a professional in the world of getting a man to commit because I am a big fan of walking away. I had to walk away from a man that I loved, a man I was dating regularly. Excuse me, guys, it's a little dusty in here. I apologize. But I had to walk away from a man I was dating regularly, a man I loved, a man I was having great sex with, a man that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I had to walk away from him because he would not commit. Now, we were in a committed relationship and we had been on and off for several years. But at some point, I had to tell the man who became my husband, Jeff, I had to let him know, listen, it feels great to see you twice a week or a couple of times a week and go on vacations, but I want to be a wife. And he went, well, not me. Not with me, you're not going to be a wife. I'm never getting married. Okay, I'm going to miss you so, so much. I'm going to miss you and I love you, but I want to be a wife and I have to do what's right for me. So I'm going to be moving on. And I remember his eyes getting like so big because he knew I was not messing around. And I had tears in my eyes and I hugged him and I held him and I said a prayer to the universe. I said, universe, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm walking away from a wonderful guy, but I want to be a wife. So you're going to either keep doing it his way, dating him, going to his house, him coming to your house for years until one day he just doesn't want to be with you anymore. Because let me tell you something, in all relationships, we reach that point where we're with someone and we're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But at that point, I want you to be a married couple and committed to each other. You're on another level with each other. You're in a different place with each other. You can still decide to end your relationship if you want to, but commitment and marriage is a completely different thing. I don't want you to discount that. So if you want to be a wife, or if you want to have a ceremony in public with all your friends attending, saying that the two of you are together, I want you to be able to speak this. And if you are over the age of 39, there is pretty much a 100% chance that you will have to walk away from a man to get him to commit to you. And I'm very sorry for that. But I've experienced it enough with my coaching clients. I've experienced it in my own life that as long as you're coming to the guy and you're doing it his way, even if you want to be a wife and you say, well, baby, we've been together for 6 years and I'm not even engaged yet. I want to be a wife. He'll go, well, we will. I'm just waiting for the right time. Or when we live together, let's see how it goes. Or my job is stressing me out right now. His problems are not your problems. That's where you have to say, you know what? I love you and this feels amazing, but I want to be a wife and I'm going to be moving on. And that's how you say it. And you let him know, I love you. This is amazing. I like coming over to your house. I like being together. I love your family. I love us all. This feels so, so good, but I want to be a wife and I am going to be moving on. And he'll go, well, what do you mean? He goes, are you pressuring me? Are you manipulating me into marrying you? Say, no, no, no. I don't want to put any pressure on you. I don't want to tell you how to show up in a relationship. I don't want to tell you how to be. This is for me. I want to be a wife and I love you and I'm crazy about you. And this all feels so wonderful, but I want to be a wife. And he goes, well, I told you if you can just wait a little bit longer. Say, well, that's marriage. What about engagement? You know, we're not even there yet. You wouldn't believe how many women I talk to, they're not even engaged. So here is how you get a man to commit to you. Let him know on the first date. Well, yeah, I want to be a wife one day. He goes, are you dating other guys? Are you dating anybody else? How many dates have you been on? Oh, yeah, I'm dating. Well, you know, I want to be a wife one day. You put it out there. I want to be a wife. Okay? So let's fast forward. 4 months later, you're in a committed relationship. And everything's going great. And it feels wonderful. And the committed relationship is progressing, which means you are meeting his family. You are going on vacations. You are meeting important people to him. You're not dating him and seeing him once a month. You're dating him regularly. Okay? At that point, 4 to 8 months into it, if it's still feeling good, you let him know, you know what, the last 6 months, the last 4 months, the last 8 months, the last year, whatever is right for you, this has felt so wonderful. Where do you see us going? And he goes, well, you know, I'm, this is doing really good. What do you mean? Yeah, where do you see us going? He goes, what do you mean? Well, I want to be a wife someday. I don't want to put any pressure on you. I don't want to put any pressure on our relationship, but this is something I want. I want to be a wife. And where do you see us going? He goes, well, you know, I love you. I love you. And let's just see if we can keep getting along. You have to decide on your calendar, go to your calendar. I'm going to give this 3 more months and I'm going to have this conversation again. I'm going to give this 2 more months and I'm going to have this conversation again. I'm going to revisit this. And 2 months later, hey baby, things have been feeling wonderful with us. I'm just curious, where do you see us going? And if he doesn't come forward and you guys talk about this, you got to tell him, this feels amazing, but I got to be moving on. So when I had to tell Jeff that, and I had to tell him, look, I have to be moving on. There's another way you can do it too. So there's 2 ways you can do this. I'm going to be moving on. See ya. I got in my car. I drove away. Every little bit of distance I got further away from him, I felt better. And I was like, yes. I was like, I don't know who it's going to be, but I want to be a wife. Universe, hear me. Dear God, please don't let me down. I want to be a wife. Okay? 3 months later, to the date where I was going to leave town because this guy lived in my town. I couldn't stand if I saw him out somewhere or something, just my energy was off. I was going to move away. 3 days prior to that date, he showed up on my doorstep and asked me to marry him. And we had had a little bit of conversation, but we hadn't hung out. But when he showed up, I said, okay, like, hey, it's good to see you. You've been calling, you've been coming around. This is great to see you. What does this mean? He goes, well, I want to be with you. And I said, well, you know what I've said. And he goes, I know, and I'm in it. I'm in it. And he proposed to me a couple of weeks later. So I hate that you have to walk away. And I don't like that this is how things are, especially for women over 39. But I want you to understand that your power, getting him to commit, may mean walking away from him. Now, I have a blog about that on my website. It is my best, most viewed blog. I'll put that in the description below when the video's over. I'm going to link to Femme Tools for Dating. And I'm also going to link to my private coaching group that I have. So if you're in a place where you don't want to walk away, you're too scared, you're not ready to do that, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Wait until you're ready. I had to wait until I was ready. But a different variation of this is you can let the man know, I'm going to be keeping my options open. So I love you. I want to be with you. I want to be a wife. I get it. You're not there. I understand. I'm going to keep my options open. He goes, well, what do you mean? Well, I mean, I'm going to start dating other guys. I want to be a wife. He will flip the script when you tell him this. But you know what? If he's willing to lose you to another man, he's got to be willing to deal with that. And you can let him know, like, look, I hate this. I don't want to get back out there. It's a mess out there to me. But I'm going to start seeing some new people because I want to be a wife. And if it's not you, baby, I don't want to put any pressure on you. If it's not you, I want to find out who it is. And I love you. I wish it was you, but I'm going to keep my options open. And that means that you will start dating other people. Now, if your guy sticks with it through this, and he goes, okay, you do you, All right. You have a conversation then about sexual exclusivity, because you might remain sexually exclusive with him, but continue to quantum date. Okay. You might have a conversation where you're not sexually exclusive with him. I have an ebook on that. It's called Sex, Sex, Sex. It's in my VIP library. That's a free library you get when you buy any of my programs. That one book will save you so much headache and time, okay? So go into the VIP library and look at that book. All right, ladies, I have covered how to get him to chase you, how to get him to love you, and how to get him to commit. I'm going to take 1 or 2 questions, and then I'm going to have to close out for the day. All right, so let's see what we have. I'll see if I got any super chats. I always give super chats priority. Let's see. Okay, how can I tell a man I want to be a wife on a dating app? I feel like they think I'm focused on that and they are not going to, and then it faded away. And they are not, I don't want to come off strong with it. Don't do it on a dating app. I've never said do it on a dating app. You can have a line in your profile that says, if you have enough room, you can have a line in your profile that says something like, you know, I am looking for marriage. I am looking for a long time, a loving, long-lasting relationship. You can say something like that, but don't do that in a dating app or in chat. This is a face-to-face conversation. Remember, all these little chats that you're having with men, they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything until you meet that guy and he's right in front of you. Okay, that's when things start. The chat is just about setting up when you're going to meet and things like that. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's take one more question. Thank you for the things about scripting and you like my ebook 500 Ways. I'm really happy to help. Okay, Eden says, my mind loves imagining the date with this guy and I'm curious to hear about that. So you can kind of get over invested in a man by letting your imagination just wander and play with that specific guy. So you'll get something called overinvestment. And when that man sees you, he will be like, I like this girl, but her energy is feeling creepy to me, because he'll feel that energy all on him, that you are like focused on him. You've been thinking about him. You've been masturbating about him, whatever it is, he'll feel it. And when he feels that, that affects your energy. Okay. So you got to just let yourself like, oh, here I go again. I want to think about this guy. I want to dream about this guy, but I'm not going to do it. I will dream about a man that I want to be with. I'll take out my journal. I'll write down what I want in a relationship, and I'm going to focus on that. Okay. Not one specific man. That's what I call laser beam focus, and nothing will run a man off so much. Yoko said, I miss him, but I'm in no contact. If you're doing no contact, you're not doing no contact because you've watched my videos, because I don't believe in no contact. I believe if a man reaches out to you, he's moving forward. Oh, this is a great question. Dee Dee says, I'm finding men want younger and more successful women. I'm 54 and I feel very discouraged. So I do not doubt that a man might want someone younger. Women all the time, we want a guy who's, you know, making 6 figures and up a year, who's still got a 6-pack, you know, can like, you know, have sex all night and love us and pursue us and chase us and claim us. You know, we want all these things too, right? Okay. So I want you to make peace with that. Some men do want someone who is younger, that they're in love with a number, not the face or the body or the person. Okay. So there are some men like that. There are some men who want a woman who's got, you know, some huge bank account. There are men out there like that for sure. There are also men that is not the most important thing, even if they say it is. I want you to open yourself up to those men. I want you to, instead of saying, I am finding this, because wherever you focus, there you go, right? So instead of saying like, I'm only finding this, I want you to say more and more every day, more and more high quality, high value men who are seeking a loving and committing relationship are just flowing to me. Just men are just flowing to me and finding to me and coming out of the woodworks to be with me. More and more every day, I attract loving, high value men my way. So easy, so effortlessly. They just keep flowing to me like magic. All right? I want you to carry that as your mantra. Kind of get that icky vibe. Can you feel that icky vibe already like lessening? Get that belief system out of your life. I mean, it's out there, but it doesn't have to be part of your world and your life. Okay? All right, everyone. I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to post those links below to my blog about walking away. Don't miss that one. If you are in a dating relationship, look at Femme Tools for Dating and check out my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I have a lot of great programs and I have a private community. All right, everybody, sending you much love. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for all the wonderful comments. I'm sending you all lots of beautiful, high vibe, feminine energy. Talk to you soon.